The distinction between prudence and conscience is very important, and it's something that scholars of Aquinas have devoted many pages to trying to articulate. In a word, the distinction can be articulated like this. Prudence terminates in a judgment about moral truth as good. Conscience terminates in an intellectual judgment about moral truth as true. What does this mean? Prudence is never purely an intellectual reflection, because the prudent person reflects with their intellect, applies knowledge to a particular act, arrives at knowledge of moral truth, but it never stops there. The prudent person continues to see that morally true things, moral truth, is also moral good, and that good is for me. I act according to moral truth. It's a good that I should enact. So the prudent person is never just a thinker. He or she always acts according to the good that they have identified. The conscious person, the person with good conscience, can arrive at moral truth, but it doesn't necessarily, and in fact it doesn't properly, within the domain of moral truth, extend to moral truth as good for me. So to phrase it another way, the prudent person thinks about moral truth as good. The conscious person, the conscientious person, thinks about moral truth as truth. That's the essential difference. They both are in pursuit of the moral truth, the prudent person and the conscientious person. But the prudent person applies that moral truth and relates to it as a good, while the person who has good conscience, right conscience, relates to the moral truth only as true. And he might say, or she might say, I know that this is true, or I know that this is not morally true, but I will not act in accord with this knowledge. The prudent person, if he or she is truly prudent, always acts according to the morally true, because he or she always understands that moral truth is also morally good.